Hello and welcome. I'm Mr. B. Welcome to another team challenge. Today's challenge is going to be a simple, but can get a little complicated if you're not careful. So what we're going to try to do is create a drop 4 board using Tinkercad. Now, we're going to be using some different tools. We're going to be using the ruler tool. You will probably need the alignment tool, the group and ungroup tool, because if you screw up, you want to ungroup something. So let's get started. Now I've already got my rows lined up here. Now you'll see that what's required, you're going to need 7 columns and 6 rows. So I would bring these down 6 and then I'm over 7. Now as you see, I've already started with my first row. So what I want to do is I'm going to get rid of these guys first. And then we'll just look at this top row and get started from there. Now, when I first started, I started at the corner. You can start in the middle, you can do whatever you need to do, but it needs to be even across and even down. So when you look at the example up on the board, that's what you'll see. So we're going to start with the first one. Once you get it positioned, all you need to do to create the exact same object is to copy and paste it. You can either use copy and paste or Control C and then Control V on your keyboard. There's my example. Boom. I bring it down here, okay, to start my next row. Now, you'll notice that these guys are kind of wonky. For the most part, they're all in the same position. But if they weren't, say I want to realign them to line them all up so they're correct. How do I do that? Well, start off by selecting your first object, hold down Shift on your keyboard and use the mouse click to select your second object and your third object, your fourth object, your fifth object, and your last object. Now come up here. I don't want to group these yet because I can't align them. And that's what I want to do first. I want to align them. So I'm going to use the alignment tool. And I'm going to center them all together. Basically, it's taking the midpoint of the object and lining them all up. And since they're all the exact same size, I click them and it should bring them all into alignment. Now, I messed up. I didn't add those two. So let's get those two added again. So if I just line them up with this one, I'll say, okay, I want to line them. I want to line them out of that one. Bring them all up in line. Now, you'll notice all 3 lined up. Boom, boom, boom. There we are. And that's what you want to be able to do, okay? If you want to do that with all of them, you could do the same thing at the same time. It's up to you. But all of them will line up on the one that you click on, okay? So if I choose to line up here, they line up like that. I don't want to do that. I want them just centered on each other. So take it from the top, okay? Now that I've got them all in a row, what I want to be able to do is space them out and make sure that they're even, okay? You'll notice that there's a little bit of a gap between them. This is where that ruler comes into play. And if you come down, I'll put it on here. What'll help is that you can see from this point, each one of the holes that I'm creating is going to be 20 millimeters. So if I look here, this one's 20 millimeters, but right here, it shows me how far from the edge of the line is set up. So it's 6 millimeters from the edge of the red plane. So I'm going to try to make each gap 6 millimeters between the two. So 6 plus 20 equals 26. So my next one, if it were 6, should be 32. Now all you got to do is type in 32 and make it a 6 millimeter gap between this one and this one. Okay? And you continue to build forward. Now, what you can do after you've got them all lined up and aligned is then copy the whole row and then paste it down below. Now, how do we get the holes? Well, A, make sure that they all go through the plane. This plane does not have to be that thick. I'm only 5 millimeters thick. You can make it 5 or 6, 7 millimeters. It doesn't have to be that thick. Okay? And as you see, they come all the way through. So what I want to do is group them all together. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, I didn't get everybody. So I did this, And then I'm gonna use the grouping tool. Now, there's my holes. Okay? Now you notice mine aren't completely aligned, but that's okay. That's something that you get to look at. I'm Mr. B. Have a great day.